When we look at the components of digital marketing, we need to understand that SEO forms part of those components. And there are many other components that make up the entire digital marketing landscape. First and foremost, I always like to say that in order to do any form of marketing, be it digital or traditional, we actually are going to need content. It is almost impossible to market without content. There are tons and tons and tons of articles on the internet talking about content marketing. And no matter what you read and how they tell you to make use of content marketing and all the different tactics and stuff, the bottom line, in my opinion, is that without content, we are unable to market. Because even if you're going to produce a business card that you're going to hand to a potential client, you have content on there. It'll have your name, it'll have the company you represent, it'll have your contact details, i.e. your phone and an email address, and it might even have a few line items as to what services you offer, and that is content. And the same goes for a brochure, the same goes for a website, the same goes for SEO, the same goes for paid advertising, the same goes for display banners. Without content in any of these formats or platforms, we are unable to effectively market. So the important thing is, and thinking back to the marketing funnel, we need to have a content plan. We need to understand which of the channels we're planning to utilize to execute our marketing initiatives. And then we need content for each one of those channels. I always say that we need content first. And then in no particular order, if you go around this matrix, or essentially the components, essentially you need a couple of different touch points. So in the order that we go, I would say from content, we would look at SEO, because invariably search engine optimization should be a very important component of your overall marketing efforts. Not to say it's the only one, but obviously from an SEO standpoint, you should see that the bulk of your traffic to your website and any of your marketing initiatives is coming from SEO. And that content should come as a result of having done tremendous, extensive keyword research so as to ascertain and understand what content you're wanting to create so that you are relevant, or your brand or your website or whatever it is relevant to the queries that are being typed into Google. Next would be paid search. And this is where we're still using the Google platform. I mean, there's still Bing and Yahoo, but predominantly we talk about Google as the leading search engine. So in order to attract potential customers or interested parties, we would then make a combinational use of paid search as well as organic search content. Then social media marketing, and this is essentially where we use the social media networks to either produce or create and post organic content, as well as using paid targeted advertising to put in front of these audiences within the social networks. Then marketing automation. And marketing automation is really this concept of automating every single one of the menial basic tasks within your marketing landscape. So for example, if you were going to send out emails, you could set up trigger campaigns. So anybody who signs up for a newsletter on your website automatically then gets a welcome email. That would be a form of a trigger campaign, which essentially falls under automation. Now, automation is not the silver bullet that kind of solves every problem. When marketing automation was first discussed as a concept, it was believed, a lot of digital marketers started to get worried and they thought, oh, well, AI is going to replace us. The reality is that without a solid digital marketing strategy, automation will not be effective. All we're really doing with automation is essentially automating whatever the individual elements are that essentially make up the strategy. Then beyond that, we need to look at analytics. And if used correctly, analytics will give us insights into what's working and what's not. It'll give us insights into which channel or platform is driving our traffic. It'll also give us insights into what that traffic is doing. So where we're getting better conversions, where we're getting better traffic flows, and where we're ultimately getting more of our sales or goals being achieved. Through analytics and through analyzing our analytics, we're able to then hopefully improve and optimize our conversion. So conversion optimization would then come in from there. And then ultimately, we're looking to generate leads. And as I've already mentioned, email marketing would form part of that. So I'm sure you can see that content being very key and foundational to the overall aspect of the components of digital marketing and how they all tie together.